Hello, lovely people of BookTube. My name is Juan. I am just one reader, and today I am doing a list of the 5 best books that I have read so far in 2016. Everyone is doing this video right now. It's incredibly popular, and I have loved watching these videos. So I haven't really read that much this year. I have read I think 23 books, and I am finishing my 24th book right now, but it's not going to count. I haven't read a lot, but I still think I have read a considerable amount, particularly a lot of great books. Like the quality of my reading year has been really great, even if the quantity has kind of sucked. So I was definitely able to narrow it down to 5 that are just completely over the top wonders, and I absolutely want to reread them at some point. And I think they're all amazing. They're all very close to 5 stars, although I haven't given any 5-star ratings this year because I'm just saving it for the book that really changes everything and that just wows me. Um, Fun fact, the book that I'm currently finishing right now, which is The Rabbitback Literature Society by Pasi Ilmari Jääskeläinen, is very close to being a 5-star book. I'm finishing it right now, so I still haven't made up my mind yet, but it's very close to being a 5-star read. It's fantastic, but I'm not including that one here. So, like I said, I have 5, and I actually was able to rank them, I think, in a pretty decent order that I'm comfortable with. And I do have one honorable mention. I also wanted to include another honorable mention, which was The Crimson Petal and the White by Michelle Faber, but I figured no, just one honorable mention is more than enough. So my honorable mention is going to be I Capture the Castle by Dodie Smith, and I actually feel so damn terrible for not putting this in my actual top 5 books of this year so far because I just loved it so much, and this is a book that I constantly think of, particularly the characters and the writing style and the way that the book was told. It's just so warm and funny, and it's actually, I think, from all the books that I'm going to mention today, this is the one that I want to reread the most. I just adored this book and the characters. It's about families, it's about character studies. It's so beautiful. It's a classic. It's just so enchanting, and it's one of those books that people always say are fantastic, and you're kind of hesitant when you pick them up, but it's worth a hype. In my opinion, it was absolutely worth a hype. Here on the cover it says, J.K. Rowling says, "This book has one of the most charismatic narrators I've ever met." So I originally picked this book up because of J.K. Rowling's praise, and I can definitely see why she loved it so much. I really adored it as well. And it was the first book that I read in 2016, so it has a very special place in my heart. Okay, now, the actual top 5 books that I have read so far in 2016. I will not go into that much detail about them because I've made either separate reviews on them or you can find them in my recent reads wrap-ups. So on spot number 5, I have The Enchanted by Renee Denfeld. This is a poignant, raw, and beautifully told story about a prison and the people that inhabit this place. It's a very gloomy, very depressing story that just shines all the way through. It's magical. It's beautiful. Some people think of it as magical realism. I don't. I think it's more in the literary fiction type of thing. But you can definitely read it as having some magical realism elements in it. I just thought that it was such a poignant, heartbreaking, harrowing story, and the writing was absolutely brilliant. I really loved it, and there was a passage in here that I still remember, like I read it yesterday, and it's about one of the characters' mother, and it's just so wonderful. Like it's just so insightful. So, The Enchanted by Renee Denfeld, strongly recommend. It's just a wonderful example of good literature, in my opinion. Okay, spot number 4 goes to A Guide to Being Born by Ramona Ossibel. This is a collection of short stories that I have previously talked about. I just loved this collection. It's a very, very good collection. It's one of the best collections I've ever read in my life. It deals with very relevant, inescapable topics such as life, death, conception, pregnancy, love, and the writing style is just, it's pure gold. That's how it felt. This is a collection that I read out loud to myself because it was so delicious to read. And some of the stories were just so incredible that they left you just, you know. Okay, my spot number 3 goes to Station 11 by Emily St. John Mandel, and this should come as no surprise. This book is wonderful. Like, this is another very, very hyped book that I sort of went into, uh, not reluctant or hesitant, but just keeping in mind that this was a very hyped book. And I read it and I immediately understood the hype. It's just wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. It deserves even more hype than it actually has. You know what it's about, I'm sure, so I will not explain the plot or the narratives or the sci fi dystopian elements that it has. I just thought it was a beautiful story. It focused not only on the characters, their lives, and this kind of end of the world situation, but it mainly focused on reflecting about art and human existence and our legacy to the next generation, and if we do actually leave a mark on the world. So I just thought, I constantly think about this book too. It's just very short and it definitely packs a lot. It's wonderful that a person so young was able to do this. I really adored it. Okay, spot number 2 goes to The 13 Clocks by James Thurber. And this is just the perfect example, in my opinion, of a delightful read from beginning to end. This is, if you don't know, which I think many people don't know about this book. It's not a popular book, at least anymore. I have never seen it on BookTube. I haven't seen people really talking about it on Goodreads or anything. And it's a pity because this one is, it's like, it's an obvious book that booktubers would enjoy. Um, so this book is Neil Gaiman's favorite book. That says it all. Like, Neil Gaiman actually wrote the introduction, and he has some videos on YouTube talking about just how amazing this book is and how it shaped him as a person and as a writer. So that, if that's not enough to make you go on Amazon right now and pick it up and read it right now, I don't know what else will. So this book is very short. It's a children's book, and it's whimsical, it's funny, it's hilarious, it's very beautifully written, it's so ingenious and clever. It plays a lot with you as a reader, it plays with the characters. It's kind of Woody Allen-esque a little bit too, in the way that it plays with the narrative and the structure. It plays a lot with words. It's a delicious book as well to read to yourself or to someone else. Just the writing is uh, so deliciously delivered. And my number one read of the year so far, this is no surprise really. If you have been around my channel for some time, you know it's coming. It's Magic for Beginners by Kelly Link. This is my favorite collection of short stories so far. It's one of the first short story collections that I've actually read, and it's an example of great writing, very whimsical characters and stories, very playful writing, which to me is really important. She's an author that doesn't take herself seriously, and that to me is so important as well. She just plays. She, this is the equivalent of a 3-year-old playing with Legos and creating, or or with clay or Play-Doh, and just creating and messing everything up. And it's the equivalent of a child taking the box of crayons and just writing all over the walls. It's the equivalent of that, and it's done so well. The stories are so wonderful. The first story in particular is my favorite. It's the one that I remember the most, but um, just all of them, they're all so amazing. And it's one of those collections that I want to reread and reread and reread and reread, and sadly I can't because time, but it's just so wonderful. I loved all the stories, and I look forward to reading more of her work. So there you go, guys. That was my top 5 of what I've read so far this year. Like I said, I am currently reading the Rabbitback Literature Society, and if I had already finished reading that one, it would probably be in this one, in this list today, but I haven't finished it. And I thought it was a very good experiment to do it halfway through the year, because I usually do my like annual wrap up like at the end of the year, and it's hard for me to really remember about every book that I read and just the impact that each book has had on me. So doing this right now really helps me sort of refresh my opinions and my impressions. So when I eventually do my December end of the year wrap up and top 15 or top 10 or whatever I decide to do, I will be able to make a much better informed decision. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know if you have read any of these books. Please, please go and read this one. Like really, I cannot push this harder onto you, particularly if you enjoy Neil Gaiman and sort of quirky, whimsical children's literature. This is waiting for you, okay? Also, if you enjoy The Princess Bride by, who is it, William Goldman? I completely forgot his name, but The Princess Bride, this is for you. So thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.